more than half a decade now, literally millions of people around the world have sat entranced by the magic of the Harry Potter films. But while most of us sit merrily munching our popcorn and enjoying the movies, few of us are aware that every frame that flickers before us represents hundreds of decisions. Whilst filming is taking place on the 5th film in the series, The Order of the Phoenix, we've come along to shake out some of the secrets of the costume department, find out how these extraordinary outfits go from script to screen and all the other stuff in the middle. For the team behind these weird and wonderful creations, the start of the school year at Hogwarts gives costume designer Gianni Tamine the same headache as parents everywhere, just on a much larger scale.
Every year we think, oh, maybe they can use that again. And every year we look at them and we think, oh, they grew. And they grow, and then we have to buy new things. You always have to buy new things.
But to the young cast, these things are often less than magical.
When I was younger, I just so wanted to just get out of these awful clothes that Hermione wore. And actually, you know, I have to put myself into the character role, embrace the woolly jumpers, embrace. So I'm hopefully there now and getting myself into character and everything.
For me, it's really this cardigan, or I get a bit of a hoodie, but you never see me with a hood up, because otherwise there were scenes in Blue Cross Shopping Centre we wouldn't have been allowed in.
This stuff, it looks like it's come from a charity shop, it looks like it's second-hand, but I imagine that's not the case, is it?
No, some of it's like really, really expensive. Like I've got one thing, it's like a sleeveless sort of tank top. It's what Ron gets for Christmas from his mum. It's got like an R on it, and that was like 200 quid, something like that.
Wow!
I know.
Ron's wearing a 200 quid tank top that looks like his mum's knitted.
No.
They are all high street clothes. They're all
very fashionable,
very reputable shops. Yeah, this shirt and the jumper, they all come from big name shops.
And yet put them together,
and you've got Neville. It's incredible.
We buy a lot, especially the kids' clothes. But we always change things. We change the color, we dye a lot. We break down, we add things, we customize a lot.
Only 30% of the costumes started life on the high street. The rest were designed and created in-house here at Leavesden Studios. So, where does Gianni begin?
I sit down with a script, and then I have read the books. So all the ideas of the script have already been described in the books, because the J.K. Rowling is always quite descriptive.
Gianni's ideas are then passed on to assistant designer Vivian Jones, whose job it is to find some suitable fabric.
Gianni would give an indication of what sort of weight she'd want for a fabric, how she'd want it to move, the colours involved, the textures involved in it. You might find the most perfect fabric, and there's only 5 meters of it, and they can't get any more, you know, and there's no point sampling it, because even though it's fantastic, you know that they're going to fall in love with it and you can't get it.
Because when you're dressing actors, their stand-ins and stunt doubles, as many as 12 copies of each costume are often required. Once the fabric has been selected, the job of turning this and this into this falls to a team of highly skilled pattern cutters.
I can see something that's three-dimensional and I envision what it's going to look like flat, and then figure out how it's going to fit on the fabric.
Okay.
And often you work it up in a cotton toile, basically, or an extra fabric.
Okay, so something that's easily throwawayable and you can make
absolutely.
mistakes on.
Yeah, that's not expensive, and just check that the proportions are right, the sleeve width is right, are you heading in the right direction? But usually from that point, you are then going into real fabric and you do a second fitting.
And that's when you don't want to make mistakes?
Yes.
Have you ever noticed when you're watching a soap opera that the characters, no matter how poor they might be, always seem to have new clothes on? That's one of the differences between TV and the movies. Here at Harry Potter, there's a whole department who specialise in wearing out clothes. Now, my mum used to go spare if I wrecked a pair of trousers, and these guys get paid to do it. All of these costumes have been through an ageing process. They've been washed with stones, rubbed with sandpaper, and had holes shaved into them to make them appear more lived in and realistic. This procedure is known as breaking down.
Whatever we buy, it's new, and it has to look like it has been worn, like your shirts or trousers is worn. So we have to create that look, and because we always need more than 1 or 2, we need like 12. So we buy 12 new, and we make 12 identically broken down, used clothes.
But some costumes require significantly more work, like this coat worn by Mad-Eye Moody. which kept Tim Shanahan and his team busy for quite a while. When you get given it, it starts off like that jacket over there. So the process has to be from turning that into the jacket that's alongside here. So how do you go about doing that?
Well, a lot of different processes. We use fabric dyes, we use all sorts of different paints, acrylic paints and enamel paints, also latex, and each time we apply a layer we have to sand it back. And it's all the different layers of different media that give it a general look of aging.
Madame Woody's jacket was supposed to be a jacket that he wore for 25 years, so that was really difficult. That took 1 month of breaking down because you have to do it layers by layer, scratch, dye. It's never easy, no. Because you have to make sure that every costume, and he has something like 6 or 7, that everyone will be the same. It's like it's handmade. And a hand never worked twice the same, so it's quite hard to keep the same result.
It's not only what they're wearing, but what they have to do in them that matters. There are literally thousands of clothes here that have been involved in all sorts of magical incidents. Each of the characters who fly in this film have a separate set of robes which are longer and in a lighter weight fabric to create this flowing effect. And these variations start right at the bottom for Harry and his flying friends.
First thing he's got to put on is padded shorts, because he's literally sitting. He's not actually resting on a broomstick. He's on a seat, a special seat, which is on the top of the broomstick. So to avoid the pain, he's got his padded shorts. And therefore, we've got to cheat the jeans he's wearing, because that's the normal one he's got. And we've got to do some alterations to it.
I have a pair of trousers. I think they maybe belong to the Chippendales at one point, or Bucks Fizz, because they sort of got Velcro up the middle, and you sort of rip them apart at the middle, and that's where you get the harness on, then you Velcro them back together.
So we've got to make some special trousers. They open, and this, afterwards we close them, and they cover the seats.
In the climactic fight sequence with Voldemort, Dumbledore's sleeve comes in for some major slash and burn action, which required some clever thinking.
We've prepared 3 sleeves that are going to be worked at different stages of the burn or the slash, and then as they are required, the dresser can pop them in and out as he needs them.
Because otherwise it would be a nightmare. You'd have to get different tunics
and
the whole garment.
Yeah, you would either have to redress the actor, which would maybe taking the wig off, or the other alternative is to sew in, but that takes time as well, so poppering is the easiest way.